Hey, welcome back to the Coach's Corner. Today we'll be previewing the Browns versus Titans. And just initially here, kind of like I said in this week's, previews of mine, huge playoff implications. Yeah, that's right, Jamar. We're talking about the playoffs. And I think it could be more of a statement win for the Browns than it would be a statement win for the Titans. And I kind of look at this game in four different questions. Okay, who's going to stop the run? We both know both teams want to run the ball, and it's both essentially the same scheme. It's outside zone. And then from there, who's going to be able to open up their passing game? Whether it be the running game is going great and they can open up the pass, or the harder route where they're stopping our run, but are we able to pass the football in that scenario? And from there also, who's going to dominate the time of possession? Who's going to keep their defense off the field and rested and force the other team to have their defense on the field for, the majority of the game and wear them out as the game goes on? And lastly, my last question is, which special teams or defense is going to make a key play or score? I say key play or score because maybe, a punt block that maybe doesn't necessarily go for a touchdown, or a muffed punt, or turnover, something like that. Who's going to come up big in that game? So like I said, both teams are going to want to run the football, and then they have kind of the play action bootleg that comes off of that, and we'll see who comes out on top. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think whenever you evaluate their win last week, the Browns had true you don't see it too often. He had true 50-50 play calling. They had 29 runs, 29 passes. Baker had 29 attempts. I think that's the key to success for the Cleveland Browns, is keeping Baker under those 30 attempts. And if he throws for, 250 plus, 300 yards and a couple touchdowns, that's great for Baker. That's great. His friends and family and girlfriend love to see the stats. Helps his Pro Bowl voting out. But in terms of actually helping the Cleveland Browns win, I don't think that letting Baker do that, unless it's a must-have 2-minute drive scenario, is the formula for them. I think I think you hit the nail right on the head. I think these are two teams that their identities kind of mesh, where they want to run the football and they actually execute that, where they actually do stick to a commitment in running the football. Gonna have to give the running the ball edge to the Cleveland Browns, because they've got two backs that can they can gash you in two different ways. They can catch it out of the backfield, or they could beat you in between the tackles, or they could beat you outside zone with a stretch call or something like that. Two backs that can also, you give them a little bit of space. We've seen them make extremely big splash plays too. And guess what? Nick Chubb takes one for 50 yards, 40, 50 yards. They could get up to the line, go quick. They could sub out and have Kareem Hunt back right on the field, and they could be just as dangerous with Kareem Hunt as they are with Nick Chubb. That's not exactly what the Tennessee Titans can offer in terms of facing you offensively. So that would be my cause for concern is, can Derrick Henry, obviously he's, a big bruising hulk of a man, just an absolute superhero on the field, right? Freak of nature. I saw Derrick Henry and I didn't know God made humans that big to run the football. But that is the thing that the Cleveland Browns do hold over Derrick Henry, is Derrick Henry is going to get all 30 attempts himself, and we've seen him be able to pull away in crunch time and him hurt the defense. But at the same time, there is something to be said for the Browns formula of doing a rotational and keeping both backs fresh, is maybe they pop off a few more splash plays. And that would be the slight edge I would give to the Browns. However, you look at without Odell Beckham, you look at the quarterback and wide receiver overall weapons, and you got to give the edge to A.J. Brown and Corey Davis, right? They're going to be missing Jonnu Smith, which is going to be huge. So missing Jonnu, maybe that evens it out a little bit. But
I really like Michael
very, very
Pruitt,
balanced
though.
attack. Southern Illinois' all-time receptions leader, Michael Pruitt. Shout out Salukis.
He was Viking, so I got some love for him. But they have another kid. I don't remember the other Titans tight end. I'm not gonna lie, but all
Anthony
three of those
Purser.
guys. Well, yes, yeah, all those guys came up big in the playoffs last year. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think if you look at these teams, they're almost in a way mirror images of one another. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Nick Chubb. He's a power back, but like you said, they don't build humans like Derrick Henry often. But, they have more of a 1-2 punch than the Titans, but the Titans don't really need a 1-2 punch, assuming that Derrick Henry can stay healthy. But I like both teams' top 3 tight ends. I think that they have both teams have, well, when Odell's healthy, they both have guys that can stretch the field vertically, but they also have guys that can work the ball on those crossing routes, on those bootlegs that we talk about when the outside zone is established. So they're really mirror images of one another. That's one of the reasons why I said who's going to dominate the time of possession, meaning who's going to be able to run the ball more than the other person. And from that, those games, it's very key to have your defense and or special teams come up with a big play to win a game. So those are my 2 big keys. I'm going to give this to the Titans right now. They're on a hot streak. I like the Browns. I always have love for Kevin Stefanski. But I just think the Titans, especially after last week, they're playing really, really good football. And the Browns defense, I don't foresee being able to stop the run. I think the Titans defense is more apt to stop the run than the Browns defense.
I think the big question we're going to get answered here truly is, are the Browns ready for playoff football? Because with the skid the Ravens are currently on, the Browns are poised to take a wild card in the AFC, right? And we talked about it. The Tennessee Titans, their football travels well. Mm-hmm. Certainly the Cleveland Browns style of football travels as well. However, whenever you're struggling to put away a team in the Jacksonville Jaguars with only 1 win, and they're down to their 3rd string quarterback in Mike Glennon away, they beat them 27-25, I believe, beat them by 2 or 3 points. That is an issue, and that makes you worry. It makes you go, okay, well, are they the same old Browns? They just, they're skating by because blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Exactly.
Now, granted, do you find 8 wins in the NFL? No, but what kind of team are the Browns? Are the Browns? It's not about having the talent. We know that with Sashi Brown and Dorsey, they assembled a good team that we're seeing. We're seeing the team finally execute on the field with a good coach in Kevin Stefanski, right? And it's not so much as a shot at all the other coaches they've had. It's just all the other off the field stuff that had to go on with the coaches, whether it be the coaches not get to pick their assistants and not get to have say in the draft picks. We finally have the perfect blend and mesh of minds, right, in the front office that let the Browns product succeed on the field. So we're seeing that now, but now we need to know mentally, where are the Browns? Do the Browns think that they can win a playoff game? Because that's the next step in this rebuild of the Browns is that's what Browns fans want to know. Can we win playoff games and contend? Because regular season wins are great, but unless you can win in the postseason, it doesn't matter. Just ask the Bengals, right? Just ask all these other teams that can't get there, or that whenever they do, they lose.
That's a very fair point. I mean, like I've talked about this before, like in previous weeks. Big Ben has a Super Bowl win. That's great. I mean, there are plenty of quarterbacks out there that will retire. One of them, Dan Marino, that never won a Super Bowl, but he would rack up all these wins, but then Tom Brady or Peyton Manning would always end up going to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. So, yeah, it's nice that, he has a Super Bowl ring, and it's nice that they were able to win a lot of games, and they're continuing to win a lot of games. But, fans and players, they want to see Super Bowls. So, again, it's kind of the same scenario in a way. Obviously, like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers traditionally, I mean, they've won, a boatload of Super Bowls, where the Browns haven't. But I think parallels can be made as far as, winning regular season games, but not winning playoff games. But if you think we got anything wrong, don't be afraid to let us know. Ask us questions in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notification bells, and check out other content from the East West Football Network. Thank you.